Good evening, YouTube. Pastor Dave here. It is Monday evening, October 10th, 2011. Welcome to my evening broadcast. Bible prophecy. We're going to take a look at what's going on in the world today. Current events and how they line up with Bible prophecy. I have some breaking stories to bring you this evening, so stay with me. Stay right here. Now, before we get started, I have a viewer and a subscriber who, you remember the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and his sidekick, Ed McMahon, how he would do the hi-yo? Now, he likes the way I do the good morning YouTube and the good evening YouTube, but he wants me to add the hi-yo in there. So we're going to do it one time for my viewer and subscriber. We'll see. If you like it, let me know. We're going to make him happy, though. Got to keep all my subscribers happy. Hi-yo! All right, I had to do it. If you like it, let me know. Before we get into some breaking stories, we're going to get serious now. Vic Hockey, 34, fellow watchman, fellow watcher. Vic Hockey, 34, Chad, brought something up in his last video that I just watched that I was unaware of, that I didn't catch. And I try to be on the wall and catch everything. The prophet of the Lord, so he's called, Dr. Edward Orr, made a prediction back in April that during one of his meetings, the Lord spoke to him and said the church would be taken, the rapture would take place, and he will be holding a meeting. And I don't have the exact date, so go to his channel during the Feast of Tabernacles, which begins sundown October 12th, going into October 13th, and it lasts 7 days. And within that time frame is when Dr. Orr will be holding one of his meetings. And it's just interesting. I wanted to bring that to your attention. It's something else to look at. We are watchmen on the wall, and we watch for Bible prophecy. I want to touch on this real quick. Glenn Beck last week brought out a video. Anonymous. We are Legion. They were going to shut down the New York Stock Exchange today, October 10th. So far, I mean, there's still time, but it did not happen. It could happen tomorrow. Now, I don't know how legitimate this is, or if this. I've been trying to follow this, and there are a lot of claims that they had decided not to do this. But I'm not sure on the credibility. But it did come from Glenn Beck from his program, and I brought you that video. So we're waiting to see what will happen with Anonymous. Now, let's get into the heart of the news. I want to touch on this real fast because we're watching Bible prophecy. I brought you the report of the underwater eruption over by the Canary Islands, and these volcanic eruptions and the tremors. And I got a message from a viewer and a subscriber who did a video, and this was back in July. I'm not sure. I'm going to play the video for you, where he has visions, and he's seen a vision on the East Coast of something major happening, and his wife also had a vision. And let me read you what he sent me real quick, and then I'll play his video. Hello, Pastor Dave. I have been following for a while now, and I appreciate the news that you have been sharing. I am concerned about the volcano activity going on around the Canary Islands. My wife had a dream of a huge volcanic eruption about 3 weeks ago on Canary Islands, and she has never, ever heard of the name of the islands prior to her dream. I also had a vision a year ago that I think might be coming to pass. Please watch and let me know your thoughts. Thank you, and Yah bless. And this is from Mr. Ephesians 6:11, and I guess it was from a year ago. I'm going to play some of his vision for you, with his permission.
Hello YouTube, this is my second video post. I told you I was going to make some more videos about my dreams and some of my visions. Well, I actually have a little bit more vision than I have dreams. But I'm sorry for the post if it's in black and white right now. I can't figure out how to convert it back to color. But sorry about that for all you guys who are watching it. This is in black and white. But I wanted to do a short video because shortly after I had
I want to say real quick, this is July 2010. I just want to make that point.
I placed the first video of my first vision that I put on here on YouTube. I had another vision, and I had this vision where I was riding on the Metro train in LA, I was actually going out to Loma Linda to see my wife. And basically, I was on this train, and I was just sitting there. And every time I have a vision, it's like at a time when I'm like really hungry for some reason. I don't know why I have visions when I'm really hungry. I'm not hallucinating or anything like that, but I have visions like when I'm hungry or I'm fasting, or in a state where my body's kind of weak. But in this vision, I'm sitting on a train, and I close my eyes, and then all of a sudden, like I'm in this vision, my face is like kind of pressed up against a TV screen, and I can see it in the bottom left-hand corner is the number 4. I don't know if that's supposed to be like Channel 4 News or whatever the case may be, but I see it number 4 on the bottom left-hand corner of the TV screen, and my face is like right up against the screen. I'm looking at the news reporter, and he's showing an aerial view of Earth. It was the United States in particular, or right next to, or near around the United States. I can't tell you exactly where it was. It looked like it was towards the East Coast, whatever. But on this video report, this news report, this guy is saying like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. There's been a big, huge explosion." And he tells what the explosion is, but I can't hear exactly what the explosion is. But he said this is a big, huge explosion, and then he shows like a thermal view of once again the planet Earth, of the United States, and right next to the United States, I can't tell exactly what it's at. I'm sorry, guys, but you can see this like big explosion, this thermal view of this big explosion.
Madrid?
And his face looked like it was just sheer panic.
Canary Islands?
He couldn't believe exactly the magnitude of this explosion. And I could feel in my heart while I was watching this on the screen just how big this explosion was. It wasn't just like...
No, I wanted to bring you this, and at his request, and with his permission, because he is wondering, was this vision that happened in July of 2010, along with what his wife dreamt, when she never even heard of this area, the Canary Islands. She never even heard of that before. Were these explosions, eruptions, and was it a big, rather than an explosion, a big explosion of water coming to the East Coast? So I want to thank him, and I wanted to share this vision with you. We're coming upon the final feast of our Lord, the Feast of Tabernacles. Now, with that said, I want you to think about that. I want to take you to some breaking news. If I don't lose my place, bear with me. A lot going on today. I've been on here most of the day. This is coming out of Israel. Israel Today magazine. And I want you to understand all that is taking place right now as we're going into the Feast of Tabernacles. Israel ready to strike Syria, Lebanon, and Gaza. Hope I can see this to read it to you. Israel officials have reportedly warned Syrian director Assad that if he used the downfall of his regime as an excuse to launch missiles at Tel Aviv, Israel will respond with a massive assault against Syria, Lebanon, and Gaza. Unnamed Israel government sources told News First class that the threat was relayed to Assad via European intelligence agencies. The Israel counter threat came just days after Iran's Fars news agency quoted Assad telling Turkey's foreign minister that he would launch hundreds of ballistic missiles at Tel Aviv if the West interferes with the violent crackdown on pro-democracy protesters in Syria. If a crazy measure is taken against Damascus, I will need not more than 6 hours to transfer hundreds of rockets and missiles to the Golan Heights to fire them at Tel Aviv, Assad reportedly said. Things are really heating up, friends. I'm going to put this report, this article in the link below where you can read it in its entirety. Israel's threat included Lebanon and Gaza because Assad is said to have boasted that his own missile barrage on Tel Aviv would be complemented by Hezbollah and Hamas attacks on Israel. Things are really, really heating up. So I'm going to put this article below for you. What else could take place? Now, this next bit of information, I don't know how to verify the authenticity, but I'm going to play it for you, and I'm going to bring it to you. On Saturday, October 8th, Lyndon LaRouche warned of a likely British-backed coup inside the United States via Barack Obama as an attempt to deal with the fallout of the transatlantic monetary system. Very disturbing information, how to verify if it's legit or not. We're going to have to keep following the story, but let me bring it to you anyway as I close out my evening broadcast. Seems like a lot of Bible prophecy coming all at one time. And let me know what you think of this. Listen very closely.
We're at the end of the existence of this real system. We don't know the exact hour or days that this thing is going to crash, but we're talking about hours and days. The United States, the President of the United States, who is clinically insane and is a menace to public order and other things, will either be dumped or something horrible will happen in the United States. The British are, along with their friends of the Bush League type, are ready to move with a coup d'etat to establish a dictatorship in the United States, which would mean mass murders. It would be a purge of the type the British ran under Hitler. Get ready for a Hitler-type purge of where suddenly people are swept up one night and disappear and go into gas chambers and things like that, more or less quickly, prisons and so forth. That's what's in store from the British side, and that's what the Obama policy is. So, no more jokes about this or that. This is now dead serious. And you have to be aware of this, not panic by it, but aware of it. And have to deal with that. That's what you have to do. Don't get practical. Let's be practical. This will work out nicely somehow or other. We have to be practical and work it out. Forget that. What you're getting from the former Bush administration, that is, of the young Bush leader, when his master, who has always been for a military or quasi-military coup d'etat, has tried to be the equivalent to set up Hitler in motion. What the British have in mind for the United States is a Hitler-style coup in the United States, in which people are already being denoted for removal from life. That's already here in the United States. And therefore it's a rush to get things in motion which will prevent that from happening. And it's not when will that happen, it's when are you going to start doing something to prevent it from happening. And that's what you have to consider. You'll see certain movements on the international scene which reflect an awareness of preparations for a Hitler-style coup of 1933 in the United States. That's what's on this plate. And all the evidence is there. That's the intention. Now there's some people who are fighting against that intention. But unless we maintain the dynamic of pushing aggressively for the preventive actions against that, the kinds of actions we take and the kind we mobilize, no more of this baby steps kind of thing. You're looking at a decision that's going to permanently decide for a very long time to come what the destiny of mankind on this planet will be. And you're talking in a matter of days, is the interval in which the decisions of action or practice will be made. That's where things stand.
Well, I played a small portion of this video for you, and I'm going to put the link below where you have the story and you have the video in its entirety. A Hitler-type coup in the United States, FEMA camps, internment camps. Leave me comments. What are your thoughts? And I don't know how to verify the authenticity of this, but this is coming from LaRouche. Leave me comments. God bless everybody, and I want to thank you for joining me on my evening broadcast as I bring you Bible prophecy and news and world events. Stay tuned to my channel, and good evening, YouTube. Leave me a lot of comments. God bless everybody. What do you think?